D&D has a 5-year plan, and it involves Vecna and the multiverse.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
This year's D&D Direct ended with something of a surprise, a brief 5-minute presentation by Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins about the future of the Dungeons & Dragons game. Now, this was a surprise for 2 reasons. Number 1, Wizards of the Coast said that they wouldn't be talking very much about the D&D tabletop game in their D&D Direct, and 2, Crawford and Perkins hinted that there was a 5-year plan for some upcoming campaigns. In their segment, Perkins and Crawford focused on the D&D Multiverse. Now, this is a concept that dates back to the very first player handbook and is actually mentioned in all 3 5e core rulebooks. However, the 5e era didn't focus on all the planes and the worlds of D&D very much until 2020, when we start to get a mix of old and new campaign settings come to life in new campaign setting books, with books about Ravenloft and Spelljammer and Dragonlance. All of that will come to a head in 2023 and 2024 with the release of 2 books. First is the Planescape box set, which will include Sigil, the City of Doors that connects to every other plane and world in the D&D multiverse, and a 2024 adventure focused on Vecna that will feature world hopping between all of D&D's different worlds. In fact, Perkins and Crawford talked a lot about the interconnectivity that we'd see in the game over the next 5 years. The Planescape box set would lead directly into the Vecna adventure in 2024, and that adventure will apparently set up plots for the upcoming years. In fact, Jeremy Crawford noted that we'd be seeing so many surprising connections emerge over the next 5 years. Now, it's not really a surprise that Wizards of the Coast plots out the course of D&D multiple years in advance. We know that the campaigns and the rulebooks take multiple years to come together. All those words take time to get written, all the mechanics take time to get designed. However, it seems like there's a little bit more intent about the future of D&D, almost like we're going to be getting some kind of meta plot that will emerge over the next few D&D campaigns. And what better way to remind us of this multiverse than by bringing back Vecna, the evil god turned pop culture sensation, to lead the players on a chase from world to world across multiple campaign settings as a kind of Thanos-level big bad that the entire D&D multiverse needs to team up to stop. Now, in the past, we'd get little teases and connections about how some of the adventures link together. The Obelisks that popped up in 5 separate adventures between 2015 and 2020 is a good example of this. Or Artis Cimber having the Ring of Winter as a subplot in both Storm King's Thunder and Tomb of Annihilation. But there was a mention that the League of Malevolence would appear in what sounds like multiple campaigns over the next few years as recurring villains, and we'd see other surprising connections appearing in other D&D books. It really just seems like there's a deliberate plan for the future, something that's a bit stronger than just the reminder that Dungeons & Dragons has a multiverse. Remember how the Obelisks had an air of intrigue to them, like something was coming? That kind of got dropped a couple of years ago with the unceremonious reveal that the Obelisks had time travel power, which was revealed in a sidebar box, and then was like an optional ending for Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. And then it got picked up again with the reveal that Phandelver would be dealing with those obelisks. It would be kind of neat if Wizards could capture the feeling of those obelisks and how they were like little Easter eggs that teased that something important was coming in the future, and then actually do something with it. You know, Marvel Studios used to talk about how everything is connected, and for a while, that feeling built up some genuine excitement about those movies. Now, nowadays, it seems like the interconnectivity of Marvel is as much of a detriment to those movies as it is a strength, but D&D doesn't have that problem, because it has big worlds and campaigns that players can choose to follow or ignore without consequence. So, hopefully all that talk about connections and future plot lines is more than just empty talk. Maybe we're going to see a stronger narrative push that could actually benefit Dungeons & Dragons in the long run and get fans a little bit more invested in the world of D&D and the D&D game. So, what do you want to see out of the next 5 years of D&D campaigns? Let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.